Hey, how you doing? Stricker Trauma here, and this is my kingdom right now. No videos for a little while. I explained to you guys about finding a massive water leak in my bathroom, and we are in here. This is my bathroom. That is an access to the outside right there. That is a vent that goes outside. I have joists, but no floor. So this sill right here, when we started to get into this wall, come to find out, the entire exterior wall infested with termites. Yep, they were all dead, but we ended up having to take a section about 80 inches by 20 inches out of the wall, and we had to replace the entire sill plate in that area. Um, yeah, yeah, it's been an experience so far. What we're doing today is all this cast iron plumbing. Yep, we're taking it out of here. We're upgrading it to PVC. You know, and I'll say this, that when this originally all kicked off and we started having all these problems to start with, um, you know, I was pretty down about it. And the thing being that we were going to get around to doing this anyways, you know, sooner or later. Part of the remodel is we were going to add a bathroom onto the house. That was would be like a half bath onto the front bedroom of our house. So we were going to be in this area. We were going to be tapping into the sewer lines. We were going to be tapping into the water lines. We're going to be doing all that. This just gives us an opportunity to have great access to all that, right? There's no floor, so you can stand up and work, and you don't have to crawl under the house and all that stuff. So we're trying to look at it a positive way. The whole termite thing was a bit of a shock to us. You know, that sill plate just came apart with a screwdriver, to be honest with you. So, but we were glad to find that too. You know, we'd hate to go through and think the sill plate was good and repair everything in here and put in new tile, put in new subfloor and all that stuff, and then come to find out the exterior wall and the sill plate are done. You know, so God's done us right on this one. He's definitely treated us pretty well, got us where we need to be, and you know, shown us some things. But hey, whatever. My wife had the entire last week off, and she had planned to have it off for quite a while, and so did I. I generally take the last 2 weeks of October off to go deer hunting, and no deer hunting this year. Working on the bathroom, but having my wife around last week was a blessing. I mean, she just helped me out tremendously. She actually, I put on another social media platform. She was the employee of the month. So, anyways, what I wanted to do, you know, I kind of gave you an update on where we are on this whole destruction construction thing. But what I wanted to do was talk to you about two things that have really helped me out on gaining muscle, losing weight, all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that has highlighted for me over the last week, when you're dealing with these kind of things, you're having to replace a sill plate, you're having to, you know, go and scab joist, you're doing all these things. The right tools make the biggest difference in the world. And up until this last week, my wife would say, "Why do you have so many tools? Why do you have so many tools? Why, you have like 7 different saws." Yep, I do. This last week, she learned why I have 7 different saws, and she has an appreciation for all 7 of them. So, you know, the right tools make a world of difference, right? Can we all agree on that? So, 2 things that have helped me tremendously are, number 1, this little thing right here. Now, you would think this is some high dollar item. It is not. This is a Walmart mainstay blender. I paid $10 for this thing 3 years ago. I couldn't tell you what they are now because it hadn't broken. And I use this thing 2 times a day to mix up my protein shakes. And this thing, it just keeps going and going and going. It just is what it is. And I'll say this, one of the biggest problems I had taking protein powders when I first started working out was the fact that I didn't like the shaker cups, because no matter how much I would sit there and shake the things, it always felt to me like when you got towards the bottom of your protein, you still had clumps in it. And I just really didn't care for that. But that little blender right there in like 5 seconds makes quick work of that thing. You know, one point in time, I was taking my protein shakes with when I was trying to go through a gainer, with whole milk and a couple of raw eggs in there. And I know you can talk about the whole raw egg gonna make you sick thing. It didn't, but mix it up, silky smooth, you know, no problem. So that thing right there, $10. You know, $10, 3 years, never failed me. Never leaked, never had any issues with it. If I've ever had an issue with it, it was because of pilot error. It wasn't because of the machine itself. So I would absolutely, you know, recommend that. My daughter wanted something very similar, called a little ninja thing like that. I think we paid $80 for that thing for her for Christmas. I was just absolutely, I was like, you know, $10 would have got you where you wanted to go. So the other thing is food prep containers. Now these ones are Rubbermaid. I get these at Walmart also. And I'm gonna tell you, these things right here, I don't have a single food prep container that hadn't been microwaved like 100 times. And what I do is I'll take this thing and I'll fill up the large compartment about halfway to the top full of diced chicken breasts. Like I'll cook my chicken breasts on the grill, and generally I get my grill nice and hot. I put my chicken breasts on there. Once they're on there, I turn the heat down to low. I cook them about 10 to 15 minutes on one side. I go out and flip them over about another 10 minutes on the other side. I stick them on a plate. I stick them inside the oven and I let them rest for about an hour, hour and a half till they're completely cooled down. I dice them up and I fill that container about halfway up with chicken breast. And then I take McCormick seasonings, the different ones. I like the garlic herb one. They also have a Montreal chicken one. I take those and I sprinkle them on top of the chicken. And I make, you know, 4 or 5 different flavors of chicken because I eat a lot of chicken. So, you know, eating the same thing repetitively sometimes can get a little old. So by putting that a little bit of that seasoning salt on there, it gives it a different flavor for each meal. And, you know, you're not feeling like you're sitting around eating the same thing every day. And then for the small compartment, I'll take the small compartment and I'll put as much broccoli as I can put in there to be able to close the lid and be able to get the lid closed tight. And then put one teaspoon of butter. Now the butter is important. Gotta have, and it's got to be real butter. I use unsalted real butter. Put the butter on top of the broccoli, and it's got to be real butter because you want the fat. The fat concentration is going to do you a tremendous amount of good, okay? You need that good, healthy fat. So chicken, broccoli, 1 teaspoon of butter, 1 pat. You got the little butter stick. You just go by the lines, chop them up, right? Fill that up. I put it in the freezer. Now I stick these in the freezer, okay? Once they're made, I stick them all in the freezer. I take them out, I put them in my cooler, I carry them with me to work, or I take them here at the house, and I throw them into the microwave for 3 minutes. I don't do anything in preparation for that. They're frozen solid when I stick them in the microwave. 3 minutes in the microwave, and take them out. The top on this thing will be kind of puffed up a little bit from the heat that's been generated inside here. Let it sit. Let it sit for a few minutes. Let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. You'll see the top come back down. And after that 3 to 5 minute mark, take it off and eat it. The chicken is going to still be moist. So you're not dealing with cardboard chicken. The chicken's still going to be moist. The broccoli's cooked perfectly. Nothing's frozen. Everything's nice and warm. Everything's had a chance to get where it needs to be. But as far as meal prep and be able to control my diet, you know, this thing right here, there are times where I'll put spaghetti in these, chicken and rice I'll put in there. You know, just any number. I've put lasagna in these things, just any number of things in here. And that whole 3 minutes in the microwave thing has worked for each and every one. Now, chicken and rice, I will say that if you put a ton of chicken and rice in here, you may have to microwave it and then stir it and then microwave it again for another minute or 2. Okay, that's the only caveat to that. But these things here, like I said, I don't have a single one, and I have about 30 of these. I don't have a single one that probably hadn't been microwaved 100 times. And they hold up. You know, I wash them in the sink, I'll hand wash them, and I put them in the cabinet. And then a lot of times what I do is when I make a big meal, if I make spaghetti or chicken or rice or something, I have some left over, I stick them in the meal prep containers, or stick them in the freezer, and then that's what I do for meal prep. And those things are going to help you control your diet. And here's the thing: you're out running around. I have this little cooler that I carry. It fits a couple of these with some ice blocks in there. You're running around all day. Maybe you're going from job site to job site, and you just got to stop in somewhere and get something to eat. I've actually walked into gas stations that have microwaves, stuck this in the microwave, went and bought a bottle of water, come back and got this thing, went out and sat in my car and ate it. Okay, you can meal prep, and you can do it, and these things will make it just a world of difference. And you can meal prep, and you can control your diet, and you can get the stuff that you do need without getting the stuff you don't need. Okay, if you're not doing this, then it's an excuse for you. Okay, you are not going to go to a restaurant and get the same quality of food consistently that you're going to get if you control the food yourself and the portions and what you're getting through meal prepping. Okay, so these are two things right here that I'm going to say absolutely work. And again, having the right tools when you're doing something makes a huge difference, and these are the right tools. For me, they've worked wonders. They're inexpensive, but they've shown the test of time over 3 years now that they're going to do what you want them to do, and they're going to perform each time you need them to perform, and it's going to be what's going to be, right? So get the right tools that do the right work, that work for you, not against you. And those two for me have been a huge difference in my journey as far as losing fat and gaining muscle, building the body that I want. And you know what? we were talking about last week. All day swinging a sledgehammer, breaking up mortar base, digging out the sill, up and down ladders, cutting, putting up new stud walls, installing insulation, everything. 51 years old, just working like a dog and not getting smoked. Okay. And again, you got to be healthy to do that stuff. And so, you never know when you're going to have a leak in a bathtub in your house and everything's going to rot away, and you may want to try to do the work yourself. But if you're not physically fit, if you're not in a place where you can do it, you're going to be doing with somebody else. All right. So we do these things so that we can build the body to enjoy the life that we have and enjoy our future. And I'm thankful to have put myself in a position where I'm physically able to do this work and mentally, have the knowledge how to do it, but physically able to do this work. But that comes through consistent preparation and consistent performance, right? And part of that consistency is controlling your diet, okay? And those two things I showed you today are strictly diet stuff. The protein shakes, they help me keep my protein in balance. And I don't like clumpy protein shakes. So a $10 blender used over 3 years is an investment for me that's paid off big time. And then the meal prep containers help me really, really keep a good hold on what I'm eating, and keep my diet in check. So those are two things I would definitely recommend. I don't know when the next video will be. We're, like I said, we're busting out all this cast iron pipe today, so I don't know. I don't know when the next video will be, but hopefully it won't be too terribly long. We'll get this bathroom put back together and we'll get back on a regular schedule. Anyways, I'm Sure Katrami. You guys have a great day. We'll see you.